Okay. So I think the first privilege in the life is the family that you're born in, and like how supportive your family are, how much they allow you to risk, to be yourself, to experience different things, versus to those families that are not supportive, or they're controlling you and they don't let you to be who you want to be. I think that's a really big privilege. Other privileges are the geographical region or area that you're born in, the political area that you're born in, the religion that you're born in, and definitely one of the most important is the money that the people around you are provided, the education that you're able to get or not. There are too many privileges, like many small opportunities that you might find in life. Your friends, everything. I think good friends that you have are also privilege. I think everything could be considered as a privilege. Because I have friends that have been badly controlled by their parents, and they never had this opportunity to experience things, to be themselves, and they are so repressed. And you can see how it has impacted their life now that they are over 30. So that is the privilege, yeah. The mental health that you can get, it's a privilege,
I guess everything.
Yeah, everything. So before then, I would think that privilege is like the education and money. But as I'm growing older, I realize many, many more things are being considered as privilege.
I find it a difficult question. I mean, I feel I'm privileged because I get to be here, and I think people take things for granted while they don't realize they're actually privileged, and like I am privileged to be here because a lot of people cannot do that, cannot afford it, don't have the means. Simple things. I mean, even simple things like where I live, the food I eat, the hikes I can do. I am super privileged of being born in a developed country. While you have millions who aren't in that position. So yeah, privilege has nothing to do with being rich or having everything. It's already the simple things in life. So yeah, I'm privileged, very, and humble because of that.
Es inevitable para mí pensar en el privilegio que tuve yo de haber nacido en Patagonia y haber crecido y vivido muchos años disfrutando del bosque, del aire puro, de los animales, de plena libertad. Y me llena de orgullo que también muchas personas del mundo puedan conocer esta tierra. Eso.
Privilege, I think, is to be able to have dreams and to have the ability to be able to live those dreams. Maybe you won't always be able to live them, it won't always work out, but you can always have the chance to live those dreams. I think that's, maybe even not even to have the chance, but to be able to dream, to have the hope of different things, you know. Yeah, I listened to someone recently said that like privileged people can think in the long term, whereas people who aren't privileged can only think in the short term. So I think maybe to be able to dream and to think further down the line. Yeah.
I guess for me it kind of stems from having the freedom to make the decisions that I want to make, and really kind of no constraints on that, and I recognize that that's not something that a lot of people can do. I'm in the fortunate position that I'm well educated, I come from a stable background, so I'm going to be able to find employment as and when I want it. I'm able to travel. I'm a heterosexual white male, and so that affords me a lot of other privileges as well. Being able to travel on my own, certain levels of safety, respect, and things that can be often taken for granted. And so the levels of freedom that I have right now are among the highest that anybody can have for the reasons that I've just outlined. But I think the true freedom is being able to make your own decisions for you and your body and what you want to do, with whatever constraints that there happen to be. But it's about autonomy fundamentally.
Querer fazer alguma coisa e poder fazer alguma coisa. Em um mundo em que normalmente a gente nem sempre consegue. Hoje em dia eu tenho uma vida que eu consigo fazer as coisas que eu gosto de fazer, mas no passado eu não tinha essas possibilidades, então eu consigo palpar essas diferenças do que é o privilégio. Então, o que eu posso hoje, o que eu não podia no passado. Então, acho che talvez seja isso para mim, talvez.
Privilegio è poter dire, cioè anche banalmente, ne abbiamo parlato un po' durante il cammino o in altri momenti, è dire prendo su la mia bicicletta, vado a fare un giro. Privilegio è dire mi alzo e posso fare qualcosa di nuovo ogni giorno, posso cercare di impegnarmi, anche perché il tempo non è, come dire, non è definito. Un giorno ci sei, un giorno dopo magari non ci sei più. Quindi il privilegio è poter dire, poter continuare a fare, poter continuare a vivere. Questo per me è il privilegio.
I think the best way I could describe privilege is probably when you don't have to think about something. So straight privilege, you know, you don't have to think about whether or not you hold your partner's hand in the street or whether or not you can get away with getting a double room in South America, for example. You know, I think there's so much to privilege that people again associate with wealth, but that wealth privilege is a thing as well, like not having to think about where your next meal is going to come from, not having to really think twice before you book that holiday or, you know, book the bougie tent in Patagonia. Like that is privilege. And I think there's a lot to that. And I think that's probably the best way I can describe to someone is that it's not a bad thing. It's not something that you like need to feel ashamed of or guilt for, but it's almost like, what do you do with that privilege? Like, how do you help give that little bit of power up or time up or money up, whatever it might be, just to help level the playing fields. But yeah, don't ever feel bad for having privilege. It's just a thing. Like, one person can't help that they were born straight any more than someone else was born part of the queer community. But I think, you know, if someone can lend a helping hand to somebody else, then the world would be a better place.
Y estar vivo, poder moverme, poder, no sé, levantarme a la mañana, comer, ver qué voy a hacer el día de hoy y nada, aprovecharlo, ir por ello. Eso es un privilegio. Sí. No todos pueden hacer esas cosas. Hay gente que tiene otras preocupaciones, otras cosas y quizás no tiene el tiempo para ellos mismos. Yo creo que viviendo en la montaña también uno tiene ese privilegio, ¿no? de ocuparse de uno mismo, de lo que a uno le importa.
I find myself to be very privileged. So to be privileged for me is connected to freedom, to be able to do whatever you want to do, to be able to afford what you want to do, and of course to have the means to have food, to have shelter, to have education. That's privilege for me, and yeah.